guys, this is going to be part 2 of the eXmark series. I'm not sure, we might just do 2 videos on it, getting it, like the second video will be basically getting it fully operational, and we'll see how far we get with that. So it might take me, you know, several days to piece this all together. Just to recap, in the last video, we basically went from it just being basically just ready for the junk pile. I got it for like 10 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever you want. I basically paid 20 bucks for these 2 mowers right here. The Toro is getting there. I've resealed the valve cover on it. I did that last night. I ordered a new cover for it that has not come yet. I do have a new fan for it. I did a valve adjustment on it last night and cleaned up the valve cover inside and out. And I used FIPG. If you're not familiar, this is basically like Toyota's version of RTV. I sealed that up with that. That should be completely leak-free at this point. You know, the engine was running fine. The only reason I stopped was it was just dripping on the muffler really bad. And also because, you know, I think the fact that there's like, you know, a third of this fan basically missing, it really isn't getting cooled. But I did clean this thing up pretty good. I don't know what you can see right now. I kind of washed it down with a pressure washer, wiped it all down, and even put a little wax on it. You know, little things like that. It really does make it look a lot better. On the deck, I got some Toolbox Red paint. It was the Farm and Implement paint, and just kind of touched up all the areas that were just, you know, bare, like rust showing through, and it'll protect it for maybe a year or 2. I polished the hood on the Toro right there. I'll put up a picture of it here just so you can kind of see the whole thing together. It's kind of hard to, you know, see it in the garage and everything. I'm kind of rambling here. So in the last video with this, we got it to where it actually runs. And this package right here should be a new carburetor for it, because the old one was literally just broken. So for, I forget, maybe 30 bucks, I think. I have a new one. I'll get that open, and it came with some fuel line and a fuel filter and I think little carb brushes too, actually. That'll be handy to have. I'm gonna show you in a minute how I get the gas tank cleaned out and flushed. The fuel shut off works now, open and close. So this is all cleaned out, and I'll show you here in a minute. Got that all nice and cleaned out, so that's pretty much ready to go. And we'll just bolt a new carburetor on there, put some gas in it, and this thing should run. It should function for everything except for the drive, because I have to either get a new chain, or I think what I'm gonna try to do, because it seems like the chains are a little hard to come by. Maybe not, but this machine, the best I can tell, is about an 87. And the only thing I could see online showed that it was not a Kawasaki engine. It was a Kohler engine was what was on these. It was like a Parts Depot or something like that, you know, where you get like the whole diagram of everything. And the only thing I could find that, you know, it had like the same style right here, where like the sides of the mower deck have the diagonal, and then this is just straight across with squared off edges. All the newer ones, they tend to have like a little kind of like a bump out, like a triangle here. Like those are the ones that are, I don't know, probably the ones that are more commonly seen. So this thing is, what, over 30 years old for sure. So it may not be the original engine that it came with. I don't know. I kind of feel like it is, but from what I could see, there wasn't a Kawasaki engine on this particular one, from what I can see. These things are just, I can buy, from what I can see, I can buy these tires from Harbor Freight for about $7 a piece. They're just pretty standard caster type things. I mean, it's a 410 by 350 4-inch. So 4-inch rim. I think it means 4.10 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall. But it seems like these are pretty cheap, so I can just get 2 new ones. They'll have like a white rim. I'll probably just go ahead and buy new rear tires They're about 50 bucks for two, and I'll paint the wheels when they're apart. I'll probably end up painting this thing because I think it's gonna be, worth it, you know. Probably gonna end up keeping it unless someone actually gives me, like, what I'll probably do is I'll get it working like without painting it, see how I like it, because I do have a potential use for this here, which I'll see if I can show you a clip of the very front of my property up by the road. Has a really steep hill. It's like a 45-degree angle, it seems like. I don't know, maybe not quite, but first thing I'm gonna show you is me going through the gas tank, cleaning that out, and then we'll cut to me putting the new carburetor on. Put some air in the tires and hopefully just seeing if this thing actually works. See if it all just pours right back out. Doesn't seem to be. This small can is what I use to mix my 2-cycle gas, and it just happens to be empty. And there's a stick in there. It's always good. You can probably use any kind of fuel cleaner. I just happen to have this. Usually at the dealer when we do like a major service, like a 30,000 or 90,000 mile service, something like that. It'll come with, there's another one they have, it's called 44K. That's the more common one. I think it's just more concentrated than this is. We usually put that and a BG MOA, which is just motor oil additive, in the car. And the cars that get those services regularly, like they should, they generally always just, you know, run smoother or longer, it seems like, than the ones that don't. I mean, there's other factors involved with the people that are cheaper and don't do those services too, but I've got a little bit trying to escape down here, but see if I can just kind of slosh this around a little bit. Well, that fuel filter just literally broke in half. Clamps just look like a piece of wire. And this might very well be the original fuel filter on this thing. I've never seen one literally just split open like that. Watch that even flow. Looks like it's not. Nope. Because that valve is shut off. Alright, I'm gonna go outside and just kind of slosh this thing around. Probably better off not having the cap in there. Just put my hand over it. Dirty filter, but this is all going to be pretty dirty. It's not going to stay on there. I'm not going to reuse this gas, obviously, for anything other than cleaning, so I just wanted to see if we're getting, you know, look at the color of it. Not too bad. Or maybe I'll just keep this, you know, put it in like a gallon jug and just say, look, it's, you know, for cleaning out gas tanks. I think there's a little bit more sludge all the way in the bottom. Oh yeah. Yeah, so what I might do now is pour it back in and get some like bolts or nuts to like slosh around in there. I mean, the good news is, you know, the gas that came out of it doesn't really look that dirty. I mean, the color that it's got is probably more from the cleaners than anything. All right, so I just got a handful of like these bolts and nuts. I'm just gonna throw in there. this, but it'll just kind of like help to knock some big stuff loose, you know. And there's gonna be a fuel filter on it, so that'll filter out a lot of the stuff too. Now our hose is flowing. I guess it knocked something loose that may actually be turned on, you know. Let's see. Probably not. A little cloudy. Try to get most of it out. They're pretty clean too. May not have been, you know, that much sludge or varnish in there. See what we got in here. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I don't know if you can see in there. I have no idea if you can see that or not, but it looks, well, I can see like the grain of the plastic, so I'd say that's a success for that. And we also see that the fuel line started to open up, so I think we're ready to put this back on. I brought some tools over. I brought it outside just so theoretically it's a little easier to see me do this here. So let's see what we got in the package with this carb. We've got another package. And I did actually return the ignition coil. So that was the other thing, is that I didn't have spark, which was actually the little igniter that's on the side of the engine that I may have to replace at some point, but I got it to work again by just kind of slightly bending the tab on it. And then all of a sudden I had spark, but not with that other coil. So I returned it, got my 35 bucks back, so I'm proud of myself. I normally am someone that just, it's like, yeah, but I'm okay with doing that if I know that there's a chance I might use it again, but that didn't work. So what's the point of keeping something that doesn't work? All right, so we've got about 2 feet of fuel line, which, jeez. 2 feet of fuel line, a fuel filter, because the old one was literally like split open. Can you stay there? Clamp, let's see. All right, there's a little fuel. I did notice this on the old one. Forget where that goes exactly, but looks like a gasket for either side of it. Yeah, and it came with this. The main reason I bought this one, I think I could find it a little bit cheaper. You know, could have gotten it the next day, but this one came with this little assortment of these brushes, which I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use these, you know, like this will come in handy for cleaning carburetors, you know. Sometimes you can clean them, you know, but this one just literally was broken. And there is the nice shiny new carburetor, although, okay, I guess I only need one clamp. I mean, no, not really, because you got, well, I guess I'll have to reuse some of the old ones or something. I don't know. I only see one clamp. It's not exactly the same, but I guess it'll do the same job. At least that's the idea, right? Just see like the little top part, that's where that other little hose goes. This is where the main fuel line goes, and that little hose goes right there. And we have much more easily moving choke and throttle. Yeah, so there's like this little plastic, like a spacer. Yeah, it just pops off. So that goes on this side. And there's two different gaskets. Actually, the one with the smaller hole goes in the front. That would make sense. I already forgot how that went. Think like that. And this is the other side. See how easily this gasket peels off. I'd like to get it off in one piece. Almost. Should probably clean that up a little bit. Should also probably clean some of the dirt out of this thing. It's clean. But let me do this though. Can I just bring safety glasses over? This one on this side, you can't mess it up because you got like little notches that only go one way. That goes there. Bowl goes down. So that's gonna go like that. I guess this little guy right here is where that other hose is supposed to go in there. So get it through there, but for now, we're just gonna put it through. One is longer than the other, but it's obvious which one goes where. The longer one goes in the back. So just to try to keep everything together, I'm gonna put them through. Oop, stay in there. Then we got gasket on this side. And there is actually a gasket on this side as well. That's just old, but it's not really torn up or anything. So basically it goes like that from what I can see. It's 12 mil. Oh, probably should have put the linkages on. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Because I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that with it on. This one with the little spring is going to be the throttle, so that goes on the front one. And that's the choke. So this one is going to go in here. The spring, I guess, just has to go in the same hole. So the choke goes on there like that. And I guess the spring just goes in the same hole with this. They're all still there, which is surprising. These things tend to, as soon as people start having issues with these things, they tend to start messing with this stuff and just make it worse. I'm just gonna do it like that. It's in the same hole, but it stays. And that one's in, so. I guess you just gotta kind of hold it like that, get them on there, and then start putting everything else around it. Just make it snug, don't go crazy tightening it. Full choke. So start will be all the way over. All this stuff needs to be lubricated a little bit. We're just trying to get it to make some noise right now. This is probably enough hose to do all the way from the gas tank up to here. Probably more than enough, actually. pull that out of there. Yeah, I think it goes on here. It might just be like a, because the end of it is just kind of like cut at a diagonal, so I think it might just be like a overflow or something. I'm not really sure. I think it just basically goes on there and then just kind of goes down through that. Let's see if I can just bend it up a little bit. It is like right in front of the other. I think that's pretty much how it goes. Watch this thing just break off. That would shut us right down. Whenever you're trying to take a hose off, just squeeze it with some pliers and just give it like a little gentle twist. That breaks the seal. Don't just try to pull it straight off until you get it to kind of go sideways. And just kind of keep, in this case, yeah, it's fine. This thing is pretty sturdy, this whole machine. These clamps I'm sure are going to be a little bit too thick, I think, for this new hose that I have. So let me see if I can, man, that might be kind of thin. It does go on though. I have a few of these guys, which should work just fine, little worm clamps. Thing goes right there. I'll put the fill filter somewhere around there. And these usually are directional. Yeah, there's an arrow, so it goes that way. Worm clamps are kind of annoying, but they work just fine for something like this. And that's what I had on hand. I think this might have been from one of those sets from Harbor Freight. You know, you just get like a little case of like all different sizes. You know, it's like a couple bucks and then you know, you've got them. So if you're working on something and all of a sudden you need a clamp, you got one on hand. You don't have to worry about going out and getting one. I got, you know, like screws like that. I think I've got some like wire connector, like butt connector things. A couple of those little sets. I guess we'll let that have a little bit of extra. You want it to be a nice gravity feed. All right, I'll use the actual clamp that came with it for right here. And you put this thing right in front of it. I don't know if that's exactly where it was on the old one or not. Something like that. So basically, it should be ready to run. I'm gonna check the oil. Make sure it's got some in there. It's got like seeds in there. You don't need that going in there. The air filter is really not that dirty. It just has a few little seed things in it. It actually looks pretty new. Like this is plastic, but it's pretty sturdy plastic, and like every single other thing on here except the gas tank, which is good. It sucks is air from in here, which I mean makes sense because it's sucking the air down through here and forcing it down around the fins, so that's where it's getting its air from instead of like, you know, back here or something. So I thought these both screwed into something. Probably should have put some anti-seize on them, but oh well. It may or may not come back off. We'll see. The muffler has like a little extra bracket thing, and there's like another cover for the front of the engine. I think for right now, we're good enough. And a little bit of oil shot out of it. Yeah, it's still good. It's right in the middle of the hatch marks. So we're good enough to run it a little bit. It's amazing, like I never get any of these things, except this one. This actually probably has the cleanest oil in it of anything that I've ever gotten so far. And it's probably because it was used by someone who actually had to rely on it. Try to get some of it in there. Yeah, see the gas pouring in the filter. See what we get for our first Should be start. Enough. See what we get for our first start here. Pretty sure I got it in the run position. This pull cord still doesn't really engage it very well. There you go. Must not have the kill wire hooked up, but man, that thing runs really smooth. Who knows how long that thing has been sleeping for, but the engine is really quiet. It might have some, bad bearings or something on the mower deck, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. So cool, I'm real happy with that. We know that the transmission is at least shifting, or it's at least turning. So if we got a chain on there, we should be good to go. So cool. All right. So I went on Harbor Freight's website and I saw that they sold these guys, and it's $6.99 a piece. And the tire size is exactly what these say. It's a 410 by 350-4. Although it's like, I mean, I don't really care about it being a different, like, because these are really just like casters. They just have to be there and roll. I mean, the diameter is the same, I guess is the important part. And this one, the one that's still good, is similar, where it has the bolts. I think that's what holds the rim together to make it easier to change the tire. But the other one that was all janky, This one is different, where it does not have the bolts. This one, you know, there's no valve stem on this. It does not have the bolts, and the bearings were gone. I mean, what they were just, oh, here they are. So nothing left of those. Those are completely done. So unfortunately, the hole is a different size, and these things have a lot of wear on them. At least this side does. So that doesn't fit. So let's see. I kind of feel like I should be able to make this work somehow. I just haven't figured out exactly how yet. If I had two of these, you know, that would be easy. I could probably just reuse the old rims. I mean, this one actually is fine. I just wanted them to match. That feels fine. I did kind of notice that this does not have any place to lube it, where this one did. And again, these are $6.99, so I can't expect too much. My bearing already feels a little grimy. Yeah, so they're all of the ones they have this in like several different colors, the hub, but they all are 5/8 hubs, where I need 3/4 inch. So I'm gonna see. I mean, if I can't use the rim, I can't use the rim, but the tire I should be able to use at the very least. So I'm gonna see if I can take it apart and possibly drill out the, I don't know. I'm just trying to see what I can do. Maybe just drill this thing out. I got a step drill bit while I was there too. I think it was about half price of anything I saw like on eBay or Amazon for, you know, a pneumatic caster is basically what this is. It's interesting how much narrower it is than the other tires that are supposed to be the same size. And those are made in China too, so both tires are the same. I was able to check them, just that for whatever reason one of them has a different rim than the other. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, I could just mount this on at least one of the rims. Just kind of have it really lightly set up in the vise. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna use a extension, because I don't want to like damage the bearing if I can help it. See if I can tap this side out. All right. Yeah, they're pretty grimy to begin with. I may be able just to get some bearings to pop in there if this all, you know, I think the hub will be fine, and this is probably a relatively standard size. I mean, I don't know, that's just a complete guess, but if I botch this, I might just be able to get some bearings. Hold it by the inner race. I don't know, what are we gonna do? Let's try something here. And I got these, I think it was 20 bucks for the Mower brand, 3 different sizes, but this one does go up to 3/4 inch, which is exactly what we need. And I just bought these completely because I'm just walking around the store aimlessly, just looking at stuff like I always do. I got out with only spending about $101 though, so I did pretty good. And the two things I went in for were only about $14. So let's see, I've never actually even used one of these before. I've always seen people use them and have them, but never actually have used one. It's metal, so I'm going to use some kind of lubricant on it, I think. Just going to start to turn it. Just don't want to squeeze it too much and then have it kind of egg shape it. Doing something. It'll take a long time, but it is cutting it. almost there, I feel like. Well, if it makes it 3 more times, then we're doing good. It's kind of jammed up, which might mean that it's pretty much all the way through. Did I hit you in the eye? Yeah, we're like almost there. It's usually when it gets to the very end is when it kind of gets, it like hits, you know, something and doesn't want to go anymore. Came this far, we gotta try to finish it, right? It does kind of smash it a little bit. Yeah, once it just, I'm gonna have to try to file the last bit of it. We're just jamming on there. Just try to like hit it over the axle. Maybe I can get it to go over. Pretty snug. But I could probably clean these things up too a little bit. I mean, it's, you know, at least partially going on. All right, I want to play around with this a little bit, but you see the idea. All right, so no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to go all the way through. It just kept getting hung up on this side, and when I put in the vise, it, you know, if I squeeze it, it does kind of make it egg-shaped. So it wasn't really going on smoothly, even this side, quite yet. I measured it. It's an inch and 1 3/8 inches outside diameter, and what I need is a 3/4 inch inside diameter. I googled it, and it goes right to Amazon. And I guess I'm assuming this must come with different spacers in the package, but if you go down to the specs, but it does show inside diameter 3/4, outside 1 3/8. These bearings are junk anyway. They have no grease in them, and they're crap anyway. I'm sure they're probably not much better, but they don't really have to be. So these are like $6. I'll get it next Wednesday, which is fine because I'm going to be going out of town for a couple days. All right, so the new bearings came, and we're going to hope that they actually fit. So these should be 3/4 of an inch. So these should, yeah, they're going to fit in there nicely. Just tap them in, and this diameter right here, I started putting it on this one. I was like, that's still not right, but no, it's this side. So I'll clean these up a little bit on the wire wheel or something, but they do fit on there. So get it back off, come on. Yeah, all right, so we're gonna tap them in and put those back together. Tap the other side out first. These are junk, the ones that it came with. I mean, these are sealed bearings, so there'd be no need to put any kind of grease in there, but yeah, these are nice. So good upgrade for the Harbor Freight wheels as it is. You know, you pay $6.99 for the whole wheel itself, and upgrade the bearings for another $10 for 2 wheels. I think that's a good upgrade anyway. So we'll just put that in there like that. You want to put the pressure on the outer part of it. You don't want to hit on the inner part. I know I got a 24 in there somewhere. Should be good enough. Perfect. Now for this side, ideally I'd like to be able to support it by this part, so it'll be resting on the outer part of the race, or the outer race I should say. There we go. A little bit more. All right, I think that's good enough. And there we go. Got new bearings. They'll fit on the spindles. Besides a little grimy. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I hit it. I mean, you know, they're cheap, but it's better than what I had. There you go. So we're gonna reassemble it. Do that to the other wheel, and we've got 2 new front casters. Now, as far as the drive chain, I bought 10 feet of chain, and it came with 2 master links, although I only found 1 clip in the package, which is all I need, but I don't know, it may have fallen out somewhere. So you've got 10 feet. This is number 41 chain. I know nothing about chain, but somewhere I saw that that's what was on the eXmark, and I did lay it over the sprockets on there, and it fit perfectly. So now all I have to do is figure out the length of it, what I need, and cut it to size. All right, so we're gonna see about putting the chain on this thing. So we got 10 feet of chain. Did seem to go over it just fine when I just kind of test fitted the links. This number 41 chain, whatever that means, I don't really know. How are we gonna do this? I think I need to lift the thing up off the ground so that I can turn the wheels. All right, so that way I can turn that. This one, if I can find neutral. Well, I can get it to turn a little bit by just changing gears with it, it seems like. Don't know what would be the best way, but it seems like just kind of rolling it over it. Well, I would say right there, because if you add another link, it would be perfect. It's got a little bit of slack, not much, but just, I think just the right amount there. So, couldn't find a marker, so I'm going to put a piece of tape over the link I need to remove. This link right here, I need to remove. So now I just need to figure out how to do that. So once I figure that out, I'll come back. All right, so the best I can tell is the pins that are in here, I guess, are just slightly larger on the outside. So I think you just need to grind away the part that's on the outside. At least that's what I'm gonna try. Then I think you just can punch it through, I think. Yeah, we don't need that bit, so just kind of bend that and then pull this off, I think. Just like that. And then should just be able to put those together. Slide the new one through. And of course, I'm going to do this on the tractor or the mower. Like that. Put the new one over it, and then you put this little clip. Slide this back around. I don't know what's easier to go, backwards or forwards. I guess we'll maybe try backwards. The way it kind of grabs it and probably doesn't make any difference. The chain seems like it's already oiled, so I don't think you have to really put any oil on it right away, at least. I mean, you will eventually. So let's see. I guess it's going to be easier to go through this way. Like that. That looks like a perfect fit. Slide that one over. All right, so that may not work on that side because I think it won't clear the shaft. All right, so we got to do it the other way, which means I'm going to want to turn this a little bit, see if I can get some movement out of it. Let's try and get it somewhere. We've got a little bit more of a straight shot from the back. Yeah, like this has the chain links have like a curved part. That needs to be on the back because this square one, or whatever you want to call that, I don't think it's going to clear the inside of this pulley. So put that on the inside, just like that. Now we should be good. We should be golden. Probably gonna need some pliers for this. Like that. And that should be it. I mean, that's pretty tight. Looks like it's like a perfect fit. Just, you know, a little bit of slop, but nothing, you know, like normal slop, like a normal amount of slop. And I think that we are good. So, next up is to try it out. All right, guys, so the thing is working. I've been cutting some grass with it. Right now I'm going up this really steep hill. It does go horizontally, but I think it's better to go just up it. So we're gonna see how I get around doing this here. you can see, it does do it. And once you get to the really steep part, it does kind of want to walk back down the hill. It does go up the hill, no problem. So I may just keep kind of like going around, but I don't know. It's going to take a little bit more getting used to. I got it on the slowest speed. It goes really fast, which I'm nowhere near that yet, or using the wheels. So it does it, but it may not in the long run be any easier than just using a regular push mower. So we'll see if I actually keep it or not, but it is fully functional. So all right guys, thanks for following along.